Pop Culture Pastor.
So I go most of the year not caring about this food item. Just don't want it, don't think about it, don't care about it. And then Memorial Day hits. And I'm like, I don't care where we're going. 4th of July. I don't care whose house you're going to. Where, like, are we going to your family, my family? What are we doing? Doesn't matter to me. There has to be potato salad. That's all I care about. And not that potato salad with the mustard base. Get that. No.
So, not the hugest fan on the potato salad.
Why not?
But there was this couple in Columbus when I was a youth pastor there that they would make this fried potato salad.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure it was mustard based, but yet phenomenal.
Okay, I mean, I'd try that. I'm intrigued. Anytime you want to do something different with the potato salad, I'm in. Here's the components that got to be in it. Eggs. Hard-boiled eggs have to be in there, in my opinion.
I don't think there were, but I don't know because
Don't want it.
It is a top secret recipe.
I don't care if it's top secret. If it doesn't have eggs, I don't want it.
I don't know if it had eggs or not.
It's a main component. What do you mean you don't know?
Did
you eat it?
I did.
Okay, were there chunks of hard-boiled eggs in it?
You know, I honestly don't know if I've ever seen chunks of hard-boiled eggs in potato salad.
Oh, you're missing out.
No.
What kind of life have you led?
A pure and clean life, Dave.
Yeah, I don't know. I really dig on the potato salad this time of year. There's something about when it gets warmer. I want cool potatoes. It's got to be chilled.
I thought you were going to say homemade ice cream or like apple pie with a dollop of ice cream.
I think everybody that says they like homemade ice cream is just lying to themselves because they want to justify the effort. They're like, oh, this is so good. It's like, no, it's not. The stuff you buy from the store tastes better.
No.
Yeah.
Like you're making it with a bad homemade ice cream recipe, amigo.
Well, there's a secret ingredient.
Oh, I
Milk.
mean, vanilla. If you're making vanilla, but like,
they put vanilla in the vanilla ice cream you buy from the store.
I know. I'm saying like to say it's better, the store bought. You're not doing it right. And I've made ice cream that has peach ice cream with little peaches in it.
Gross. I don't want produce in my ice cream.
You are not healthy. Again, live the pure, clean, undefiled religion life like I am.
Anyway, let's go back to the potato salad.
Yeah.
There's the Amish potato salad. I bought some at the store. I don't think the Amish made it. I think that was false advertising.
Probably.
But they put that sweet relish in there. No, I don't want my potato salad to be sweet. Get that sweet relish out of there. I'm going to say no to the Amish.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know.
They make fancy cabinets for heaters.
What?
You don't remember the Amish heater commercials? Like it's like a electric heater that you plug in, but the Amish made the fancy wood case around the heater, and like they would sell it on TV.
No. I don't remember that at all.
Handcrafted by the Amish.
Okay.
Except for the whole electrical component stuff.
I mean, putting wood around a heater doesn't seem like a great plan.
Well, I mean, there's like those like big heaters that you can buy at any store that are in a fancy wood casing.
I guess I don't know what heaters we're talking about.
Just like a standard
Like a space heater?
Yeah.
Why would you put them in a wood casing?
Because it's not going to catch on fire.
Why wouldn't it catch on fire? It's wood.
Because there's some insulating material around the interior of
Oh,
the
you mean
wood.
like this one? The one we have in the radio room.
Yeah, that's wood.
Yeah, but it's like infrared heat or something or other. It's something weird.
I don't know.
And I know the Amish didn't make the infrared part.
I didn't say they did. They made the fancy wood cabinet around it.
Okay. All due respect to our Amish listeners,
Sorry about that.
of which there are probably many on transistor radios. What's the whole rules about the electric stuff with the Amish? Do you know?
It's different than the midnight
Okay, so which one's more extreme?
Amish.
Amish. Okay. Mennonite could still they still have phones and stuff.
I do think that most Amish communities have one phone.
Okay.
So if there was an emergency, you go to this one location and then you call.
Every time I fight my kids about video games or screens or something, I think about, man, the Amish got it right. They got it all figured out. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. This is the Pop Culture Pastor radio show, and I need some potato salad.
That's what he needs.
I had some potato salad over Memorial Day weekend. My dad came over, and so I grilled some burgers, but it was bought from the store, and it's just not the same as someone making it.
Oh.
So if you're listening, potato salad, eggs, probably either mayo or ranch based. Ranch is a secret. That's a secret recipe. Although I don't think you make it completely out of ranch. Maybe a mayo with a dash of ranch mixed in. Yeah.
And a squirt of mustard.
Because it's Kansas and everything's better with ranch. Did you try your homemade ice cream with ranch?
No.
You're not a real Kansan.
I'm not.
All right, welcome back to Pop Culture Pastor. I had to grab Pastor Rick. Pastor Rick was hanging around, and so I brought Pastor Rick in for this story.
Okay.
Because this is a very interesting thing. Now, Pastor Rick, I didn't have you sign anything, but I just need to let you know that this might be used on our podcast later on. Are you okay with using your voice and talents?
Oh, yes.
Yeah! Pastor Rick is in.
Boom.
Now, Pastor Rick...
I think if it's about ketchup, nope.
No, we're not talking about ketchup
Okay.
on this segment. Also, there was just a little condescension there, and I'm no, no. So, Pastor Rick, for everyone who doesn't know you, tell everyone your experience with the pastorate, like how long you were a pastor, because I feel like for this story, this is going to be important that there's someone in the room who's been a pastor for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I've been a pastor. I'm retired now, but about 42 years.
That's a long time.
That's a day or two.
Yeah. And so Pastor Rick has expertise with the office of pastor. Now, I'm bringing this up because I'm about to tell you about this story.
Okay.
And this this may be interesting to you. All right. New Central Baptist Church, which is a historic institution, apparently. 118-year legacy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Apparently embroiled in a bitter dispute. Did you ever have bitter disputes in your church as a pastor?
Might have had a dispute or two as we go along.
Yeah. I bet it wasn't as bitter as this one. The conflict revolves around their pastor, whose name is Bernard Reeves, whom some members have accused of acting like a dictator. Never good.
No, not good. Not good.
Also, they've accused him of misappropriating funds.
Oof.
That's not good.
No. Okay. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because, look, unfortunately, that's not super out of the ordinary or interesting. That happens sometimes.
It's not unheard of.
No. But this is. Despite a majority vote to terminate his position, to fire him, Reeves refuses to step down, taking advantage of a judge's ruling that overturned the decision. Now, wait a minute. Now I'm like, wait a minute. A judge has been brought in? What's happening here?
Yes, I don't get that. That's crazy.
That is amazing.
Now, the members of New Central Baptist Church are fighting back. Currently, they have an appeal pending before the Pennsylvania Superior Court seeking to overturn the judge's decision. In the meantime, the pastor refuses to leave the church. He's not going home, Pastor Rick. and he has changed the locks on the church. He's not going home, and he's like barricaded himself in the church.
He does sound a little bit like a dictator.
If you're wanting to give off a different look than the dictator, don't change the locks. But
Or refuse to leave the church. He's barricaded inside like there's a police standoff going on.
so I'm wondering if the church bylaws and constitution has like a clause or a certain percentage that has to be hit. Because if it's in your bylaws or in your constitution, you literally, that's a legal document.
Right.
And so
Right.
he could double down on that, but I don't know what his claim is to double down on yet.
Yeah. So this pastor of this Baptist church in Pennsylvania has barricaded himself in the church. He's changed the locks. He's refused to leave. He got voted out by his church. Mm-hmm. They fired him. And then somehow this went into a court battle, and then the court ruled in his favor, which I'm just so confused. So I'm trying to find the specifics. Here is apparently the thing of it from Relevant Magazine here. The roots of the conflict can be traced back to 2018 when disputes within the church escalated. Dissenting members, including a former trustee. Now, what's a trustee, Pastor Rick?
Trustees oversee the buildings.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do the maintenance.
He argued that Reeves had disregarded long-standing bylaws by unilaterally appointing deacons and another trustee. Which I assume that's not protocol.
That is not protocol. Baptists don't put up with that.
No.
They also accuse him of meddling in trustee elections and misusing church funds. Furthermore, the pastor has allegedly dismissed criticisms stemming from a church survey, labeling them as out of line with the word of God. Well, when someone criticizes me, Pastor Rick, that's my favorite fallback. It's like, well, God's on my side. That's my favorite humanism, by the way. We're on, you got to be on the right side.
That's right.
Jesus is on our side. And I'm like, well, that's something awfully strong to proclaim there.
Yes.
Without, Jesus being here to speak for himself.
Yeah.
That
Went on in 1 Corinthians.
that's why we brought Pastor Rick.
That is.
He can actually comes like, actually, this has happened before. 1 Corinthians, pastor in Pennsylvania.
It keeps happening.
In response to the pastor's actions, the disgruntled members in the church's board of trustees filed a lawsuit in April of 2019 seeking the court's intervention to remove him as pastor. However, Judge George Overton, presiding over a 2-day trial in 2021, ruled in favor of the pastor, stating that the termination had not followed the church's bylaws adequately, which is what you said. He also deemed that the notice of termination was insufficient. So, yeah. Now
What was insufficient about it?
I guess they didn't give him enough notice of termination. I thought you could just terminate people.
I did too.
I mean, not like, Arnold Schwarzenegger terminate them, like, fire them.
It's nice if you give them like, hey, finish out the month, bud.
Especially if you say it just like that. Like Cody would be the best person to give bad news. It's like, hey, bud, your house burned down, but look at this. We have mac and cheese with ketchup. So I don't know. This is just kind of wild. On what level okay, let's say the pastor's in the right.
Okay.
Is he acting in a way that seems becoming of a pastor?
This is not Christ-like.
No.
It necessarily.
Jesus said to shake the dust off your feet and go someplace else.
This is true. It's not very shepherd-esque.
Yeah. It's wild.
Like, it's okay, or it's not unheard of, I guess I should say, that you have a couple members that might be disgruntled and feel like their needs aren't being met, and then you politely say, hey, there's this church and this church and this church. If you don't feel like your needs are being met, because I care about you, and I want you to succeed. I want you to grow in faith, and if you can't be here, I'm sorry. But this is a completely different level than that.
Yeah, I'd say once you barricade yourself in the church,
I'd say so. Yes.
you're not on the guidelines that you're hoping to stay on when you're a pastor. But
I've seen the opposite of that.
So Pastor Rick, when you say you've seen the opposite of the pastor who's barricaded himself in the church because he
Yes.
refuses to be fired,
Yes.
what do you mean?
I
Like,
have
is he
been
locking people outside? Oh,
No, he's quits. He terminates himself and walks out the door.
he just leave.
He just
walks
leaves.
out. He's like the fast food style.
And I recently have seen that happen in 3 different churches.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine that?
No, I can't.
Not giving anybody any warning and just saying, this is it.
Okay, so
Took right off.
I've been in a church where that's happened, like right in the middle of the sermon.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, Cody, tell us about it.
I won't list the church just
No,
because,
no.
but the church was in the middle of their search and call. And so they had an interim pastor that was going to fill in until the new pastor had been hired. This guy was a retired minister, been a minister for 40 plus years. That denomination, it was elders that they kind of operate as trustees. But they had said, you need to do this or do that. And then he proceeds to tell the camera guy, shut off the camera. And then he berates the whole church. And then it's like, I'm done. And then he walks out.
Whoa.
That doesn't bode well for your pastor search, though. Like your pickings, when your interim pastor calls everyone a bunch of nerf herders and walks out on a service.
Well, I've got a quick question. What did that do to the church? Did it create a lot of conflict and polarization?
Honestly, I think that it delayed that from boiling up. Like, it was such a shock that, like, people were in fright. And so, like, everyone was on their best behavior for a little bit. And then the new pastor gets found, gets hired, and then it boiled up. And then there was fractions, and people went one way and other people went another. Yeah.
That's better than what I was thinking, because when Pastor Rick asked that question, I was already assuming that they doubled down on the hubris and were like, what's wrong with that guy? He just doesn't want to be around perfection, I guess. Like, that's what I was going with it. And so I'm actually impressed by that reaction.
I imagine there probably were people that thought that, but like they didn't say it out loud. So it was just like the waters were still for a moment, and then boom.
Oh, humans. We're so funny. And it's so funny to see, like, sometimes you wonder if Jesus were here in our situations. Because, like, look, we can sit here and poke a little fun at this church. But, like, everyone's had something in their church where if Jesus were in the room, his reaction would be, like, would he just shake his head? Like, what is happening here?
I think so.
Imagine Jesus witnessing a pastor getting the locks changed and barricading himself in a church because he got fired and he was like, mad about it. He's like, I'm not leaving. You're going to have to drag me out. Which, if they do end up, if the Superior Court rules with the church body, I would love to see the video of them removing him. That would be hilarious, because I have a feeling that the way that would go would probably be he'd be crying, kicking his feet like my youngest son. No! I don't know. That's just wild to me.
That is wild.
We humans be wildin'.
That they do.
In the long, illustrious history of my life, Cody, I will admit, have there been fights with my loved ones over food? Yes. Yes, there have been. The ones close to me, friends, family, whatever. Have we ever gotten, like, if you grew up with a lot of siblings, you'll probably identify with this story I'm about to share. Because you probably have been in a situation where we were fighting over the last piece of candy, the last piece of cake, the last, I don't know, whatever. And so, if you grew up with a lot of siblings, my dad tells a lot of these stories because he grew up as one of 10. And so fighting over a food was a thing. But I think you did it when you were a kid. I don't hear many stories of adults fighting, like really fighting for over food. The Smoking Gun reported this took place back on Saturday, May 10th. But Clifton Williams, 64 years of age, and his roommate got into an argument. Now, first of all, 64-year-old man has a roommate. I don't want to make any snap judgments here, but I think we're already thinking about a certain kind of person.
This guy's living his best bachelor life. That's what I'm thinking.
That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh, that's sad. 64 years old, and he's got a roommate. And the story doesn't get better from here.
Oh, so
it just gets worse.
He's not batching it with his BFF and living the dream.
Well, they were living the dream, but something got in between them. And that something was a Hot Pocket. According to the Louisville Metro Police Department, the victim in this altercation said Clifton Williams got mad that he ate the last Hot Pocket and then began throwing things at him. The victim told police he tried to fight back and then started to leave when Williams went back into the residence and returned with a gun.
Things escalated quickly.
I've seen it 1,000 times, Cody. You take the last Hot Pocket and the violence ensues.
Oh, like, I'm going to be honest. Hot Pockets are gross.
Yeah, well, we could have an entire discussion about, like, a Hot Pocket. You're going to fight over a Hot Pocket? Dude, just let him have the Hot Pocket. If someone gets upset about it, be like, here you go, bro. Eat it. It's yours. I mean, you're just going to microwave it until, like, it's warm enough. And on the outside, it's going to be frozen. In the middle, you bite into it. It's going to burn your mouth because it's nuclear.
Yes.
You just, like, that's going to be what happens. Don't waste your time, energy, and mouth, skin.
I've never thought they tasted good. Maybe I just chose the wrong flavor type of Hot Pocket. But even the hot ham and cheese wasn't good. And I don't know how you mess up a hot ham and cheese.
So the altercation continues, and he returns with a gun, does this Clifton Williams, after he got angry with him because he was eating the last Hot Pocket. The victim told police he tried to fight back, and then he gave up and he started to leave. When he left, this is according to the police report now, quote, Williams shot him in the explicative while he was trying to leave. That's what it says in the police report. So, like, the dude's leaving, he's giving up. And the guy's like, nope. Boom.
Not today, buddy.
Did he take the Hot Pocket with him? Was he just like walking out, but like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm taking my Hot Pocket too. And this dude shot him in the backside. Because he ate the last Hot Pocket. Now, we've already discussed why. Maybe they lacked a lot of food. Maybe they weren't, because it can't be, you were just looking forward to eating that Hot Pocket. First of all, that Hot Pocket ain't going to fill you up, bro.
No.
It's like air.
It is. And it's gross air.
There's nothing about a Hot Pocket that is satisfying whatsoever.
If you needed money, you should have sold your gun.
We'll be back. So let's talk about this guy. First of all, he got mad enough. 64 years old. You've lived 64 years of life on this earth. And you decide this guy's going to jail, man.
Oh, yeah.
He got arrested. He's going to jail. He got charged with second-degree felony assault at 64 years of age. Like, you've lived this entire life of 64 years, and you're gonna lose it all over a Hot Pocket.
I mean, what he did, even if he was like an expert marksman, I would still classify as attempted murder.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't know where like, come on. You think this dude was a marksman? No, not a chance. He's living with a roommate at 64 years old, and he's mad about a hot pocket. This dude was not a high trained individual.
Yeah.
And you're going to throw it all away. Like, as far as like frozen snacks go, which is what I'm going to call this is not a pizza roll.
No.
These weren't pizza rolls. Like, pizza rolls, yeah, throw it all away, bro. Totally justified. Go nuts. But you go, this is not pizza rolls. This is not even the White Castle microwavable cheeseburgers. This lies somewhere around the range of like Uncrustables and other things I don't care about.
Kids cuisine.
Like a Hot Pocket? And now I really want to know what kind of Hot Pocket it was, because the police report does not specify. But if this was ham and cheese, then bro, throw him in prison and lock him, like throw away the key. Like, because if you were fighting over a ham and cheese Hot Pocket and you shot someone over it, you're not allowed out in society ever again. In fact, don't even throw him in regular prison. Throw him directly in the hole, because you need to sit and think about what you've done.
That's a little extreme, but I mean, his reaction to not eating the last Hot Pocket was very extreme as well. So.
Okay, so is there what flavor of Hot Pocket are you like the closest to saying, okay, I get it? Is there a flavor of Hot Pocket that you're like, all right, that's justified? I could see totally shooting your friend in the backside because he ate the last one. Is there a brand?
There is not.
It's not ham and cheese. It's not pepperoni pizza.
I was going to say the pepperoni pizza one looks good, but it tastes like dog doo-doo.
It's terrible. It's
Sorry,
terrible.
Hot Pockets.
What other? There's a couple other Hot Pockets I've seen. There's the breakfast Hot Pocket. I haven't tried the breakfast.
There's
Hot
a vegetarian one.
Oh, it certainly wasn't that. Nobody. Listen. Side note, you know where these altercations never happen? Vegetarians, vegans. Nobody's shooting anybody over plants.
You're just getting hit with a brown bag that you brought to the Whole Foods yourself.
Oh, you ate the last Impossible Burger? Okay, I'm cool with that.
Thank you
Have
for
a good
taking
day.
one for the team.
Nobody's getting mad about that. But you eat the last Hot Pocket, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
It should not be.
Yeah, I know that one's weird. Like, it's like, again, there's a hierarchy of frozen snacks, and I don't know that it gets better than the pizza rolls. Now, I have seen it happen where you're at a gathering and there's the plate of pizza rolls, the giant plate where it's just mounded, and you get down to that last one and everyone's looking at each other. And there's like, I've seen some brawls happen.
So the other day I went to Five Guys, and we got to like the bottom of the bag of French fries.
Oh, the bag of fries? Yeah.
And I'm like, do I steal the last few, or do I let others take them? And then finally, like, we're about to go, and everyone's like, well, I don't want these. Does someone else want these? Because we're going to throw them away. And I'm like, I'll take one for the team.
In that situation, you're hoping for your friend, like one of your friends, to be the quote unquote the martyr.
Yes.
Who wants to continue eating the fries or the pizza rolls, but it's like, you go ahead. And then you go, oh, thanks. Don't mind if I do. I like the aspect of this story where it's a dumb argument. And if it's I love that there's two different kinds of people. That, first of all, we've all been that person. We are all the type of people that can be embroiled and take part in a dumb argument. And in your head, you know it's dumb. But you get so mad, and then there's like this self-righteousness that builds. So you want to win the argument. But like, we've all been there. And I love that one person in this altercation, like at some point, is like, this is dumb. And he tries to leave. Now, the other guy's already been throwing stuff at him. because he ate the last Hot Pocket. But the other guy's like, you know what? He just needs to simmer down. I'm gonna remove myself from this argument.
That's a good coping skill, people. Walk away.
And then there's the other person who's like, I'm not letting this go.
That's not a good coping skill.
And I also, again, I don't want to be too judgy because I've been that guy. I think we've probably all been the person who's like, I'm not letting this dumb argument go. We're embroiled in something we know is dumb, but I want to be the one that gets the last word.
That has been us since Thor: Love and Thunder has come out.
I will get the last word. At your funeral, should I outlive you, I will say, I loved Cody dearly, but he was totally wrong about Thor: Love and Thunder. I will get the last word.
That's the one thing that's keeping Dave going.
Yes. I'm going to be like hooked. I'm going to be like a cyborg just so I can make it longer than you because I'm clearly less healthy. Anyways, we've all been this guy. We've all been the guy who like the person you're arguing with has removed themselves. Like, I'm not arguing about this anymore. And then you're like, you pick up the gun and you shoot him in the bottom. Like, buddy. I'm going to get one last shot at you. So you go out the door. Maybe you didn't use a real gun, but Jesus said, if you felt it in your heart, you shot him.
You did.
You took a shot at him right in the buttocks.
That's why I recommend the only weaponry you should have is either Nerf guns or those salt guns that you can shoot flies with.
And then we're that guy. You know, then you have to live with that until you can get to a place where you apologize. Because, like, at some point, if these two guys are friends, let's assume they're friends since they were roommates and that old, 64 years old. Let's assume these guys were friends. At some point, you either are going to live in your pridefulness in prison until the day you die, or at some point, this guy's got to be like, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry I shot you in the behind because you ate the last Hot Pocket. You swallow the pride. You say, hey, you know what? That was pretty dumb. I did a dumb thing. Well, it certainly wasn't smart, Bob.
In the famous words of Nirvana, all apologies.
There's no way this was a ham and cheese Hot Pocket. I've just decided that, full stop.
I really think that maybe this guy had never had the pepperoni Hot Pocket.
And saving it for a special occasion?
Saw the commercials, thought it looked good, and it might be like a giant pizza roll or pizza bite.
It was like those people who saved that like fancy schmancy bottle of champagne for like an occasion.
Yes.
And this was this dude's celebratory Hot Pocket.
And then boom.
And he came home one day from work and this jabroni, this roommate was eating his last Hot Pocket. And he was like, all right, well now I got to shoot you in the behind. Nope. Still doesn't make sense to me. I'm still having trouble following that thought process.
It's as close as I can get.
This is how I know I made it. Thank you, Lord, for bringing me to the place where I just totally can't understand why this guy got that mad about a Hot Pocket. Hey, everybody. Dave here. What you have just listened to are bits and pieces of our radio show. We have a radio show on KFEX Firescape Radio located in Chanute, Kansas. You can hear that show from noon to 4 every weekday. So if you want to tune into that, you can go to www.kfex931.com, or you can search KFEX in your app store on your smartphone and find their totally free app there. If you're a fan of Christian music, you might like to listen to our live show when you're at work, or if you're a stay-at-home mom and you like music in the house, you may love to listen to that during the day. So give it a try. We would also direct you to our podcast, Pop Culture Pastor. That's probably why you're listening anyways to this version of what we do. As always, subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on our social medias on Facebook and Twitter. It helps us out when you share it, when you review and rate us on our podcast homes. And of course, follow us on social media and share our stuff there. So thank you so much for listening. We love all of you guys so much. We have such a great community of listeners. And we'll see you when the regular pod drops on Friday.